Chetam Bhuvi Yastatmiya Varamvarapradaguravau Vairagyabhagyo Radhau Vedantam Tadaravantamanagat Shri Srinivasat Guroho Sri Sailanvekostubhasyatanayam Shayonithe Shri Nidhe Vande Sasukatakshakedililiyam Shri Krishna Saddeshikam Shri Narayana Yogindra Varadari Prapashrayam Sanjayabhatam Shri Vasamim Bhaje Vyasam Vasishthanaptaram Jaktev Pautramakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponidhim Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshinim Vasudevasutam Devam Gamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Offering my pranamams to all the Bhagavatas in this Satsanga, I shall start the next class. We are into the 14th class. So, the Shloka, the previous Shloka which we were examining still, we are almost towards the end of that Shloka. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. In this, Bhashyakarar has given us a very detailed commentary on this Shloka. So last time we examined the Upadesha Anupapatti as propounded by Bhagavad rAmAnuja when he is examining the Advaita Darshana. So in the end there are two statements that Bhagavad Bhashyakarar makes, that Upadesha Anupapatti, establishing that Ataha Sarveshwarasya Idanintana Guru Paramparayascha Tattvajnanamasti Chet Vedadarshana Tat Karyopadesha Adi Asambhavaha Vedadarshanamasthi Chet Asti iti Chet Ajnanasya Tadhetoho Sthitattvena Ajnatvadeva Sutaram Upadesho Nasambhavati. So he concludes the Upadesha Anupapatti with these two statements, whether there are two possibilities, whether Tattvajnana is there or not there. So if Tattvajnana is there for Sarveshwara or any Acharya who is teaching, if Tattvajnana is there, according to the Advaita Darshana, the Veda Darshana cannot be taught. If Tattvajnana is not there, because the Jnana is not there, they are not eligible for teaching. So in either case, Upadesha is not Upapanna, it's not reasonable. So that is known with the Drishtanta of Badhita Anuvritti and all that, and Badhita Anuvritti itself is not possible, was established by Bhashyakara. Continuing further, Kincha Guroho Advitiya Atma Vijnanadeva Brahma Ajnanasya Sakaryasya Vinashtatvat Shishyam Prati Upadesho Nishprayojanaha. So once establishing that Upadesha itself is Anupapanna, that is not reasonable or incompatible, Bhashyakarar says it is also Nishprayojaka. There is no use in such Upadesha also. This is further examining the Advaita Darshana in detail. A critical examination of the Advaita Darshana is done by Bhashyakarar in this Shloka particularly. If the Guru has Advitiya Atma Vijnana, that is as per the Advaita Darshana, there is no second entity. Advitiya Atma Vijnana. Atma Chinmatra. Atma is the only entity, Satya. Advitiya, there is no second entity. So if the Guru who is teaching has such a Jnana, then by that itself, the Jnana of Brahman and the effects of the Jnana are completely eliminated. And doing Upadesha to a Shishya becomes Nishprayojaka, it is useless. So it was, as it was established that doing Upadesha to a Shishya, thinking him to be a mirror image of himself, Pratibimba, no person in the right mind would do such a thing. If a Guru knows that Brahman is the only truth and there is no second entity, then he cannot do Upadesha to his own image, as it does not exist in reality according to Advaita Darshana. If he does not have the knowledge, then he is not eligible. So it was established that Sarveshwara or anybody, if they have the Tattvajnana, as per the Advaita Darshana, they cannot do Upadesha, and even other Vyavaharas are also not possible. Just like someone does not attempt to get water in a mirage, just like that, for drinking or any purpose, any Vyavahara with respect to that Tattvajnana also is not possible. Upadesha and Vyavahara both. So according to the Upadesha itself is one of the Vyavaharas of the Tattvajnana. The Advaitins say that there is only one Brahman who is covered by avidya, that is avidya shabalam, and it becomes one jiva only due to this avidya. This Brahman, that is the jiva bhava, that Brahman who is only one gets the jiva bhava. This Brahman which is covered by avidya and got the jiva bhava sees many other jivas as though one sees in a dream state. So the second part of the Bhashya in this, Kincha Guroho Advitiya Atma Vijnana Deva Brahma Ajnanasya Sakaryasya Vinashtatvat. That is, the Ajnana of the Brahma and also the effects of that Ajnana are all totally destroyed. Shishyam Prati Upadeshaha Nishprayojanaha. It is of no use. Guruhu Tattvajnanam cha Kalpitam iti chet. So this is the next part of the Bhashya. Guruhu Tattvajnanam cha Kalpitam iti chet. Shishya tad jnanayoho api kalpitatvat. Tadapi anivartakam. Now the next part Bhashyakara says, if you say that in the Advaita Darshana, if they say that Guru and the Jnana are all kalpita, imagined, because there is no satya, they cannot be truth. And so if they are imagined, let us say, a Brahman who has got a jiva bhava is imagining that all the entities that the Brahman is seeing are all imagined just like a dream. In a dream we see so many things, and when we wake up, all the dream vanishes, and all the people, various things, entities or cities or anything that we saw in the dream, they all just vanish. So just like that, Brahman is actually seeing all these things in this world, is what the Advaita Darshana says. Many jivas are seen just like in a dream. It is not known who is the one real jiva, who is actually the Brahman covered by avidya. So one of them is Brahman. Others are all imagined. They are all, somebody is dreaming all these things like this. And we don't know who is that jiva or where or which place he exists. It is not possible to know this for sure. So someone in future, sometime in future, this jiva gets the Tattvajnana and wakes up, and then the entire world vanishes, gets eliminated, just like a dream disappears when one wakes up. And Tattva is only one, so no one knows who is this real one. Many people are being seen in this world like a dream. The one who exists comes to know that this is all a dream and the entire thing vanishes. But we cannot say when this happens and where and things like that. That is the argument of the Advaitins, the Purva Pakshi. Because there is no other entity which is real. They are all imagined like a dream. So here, Bhashyakara says very simply, Guruhu Tajnanam cha kalpitam iti chet. If Acharya and his jnana are all imagined like that, and then Shishya and his jnana also become imagined, and there is no need to eliminate it. It will vanish by itself, just like a dream. Why should you put any effort to eliminate it? So here Deshika examines in Tatparya Chandrika more in detail and says, there is only one Brahman who is in the Jiva Bhava, who is seeing the dream. So what possibilities exist, Deshika examines here. Krishna is teaching Arjuna. So he says, is the real Brahman the Guru who is teaching, just like Krishna or Vasudeva? or someone else seen by him, or is the Brahman the Shishya such as Arjuna, or somebody else seen by Arjuna. That means Krishna can be the Brahman, or Arjuna can be the Brahman, or somebody seen by Krishna can be the Brahman, somebody seen by Arjuna can be the Brahman. So all these possibilities are there. So if the Guru himself is the Jiva, then he should have the Advitiya Atma Vijnana. In that case, Ajnana should have got destroyed along with the effects such as Shishya, Acharya and all these. And there will be absence of one who teaches, one who listens, and all the accessories associated with teaching. Hence, doing Upadesha to a Shishya becomes useless, Nishprayojika. Let us say it is somebody else seen by Guru. Then the Guru and his Jnana would be Kalpita, that is imagined, because there is no other entity which is true. So the Shishya and his Jnana also become Kalpita, and there is no need to eliminate, because it is simply imagined. So for this there is one more objection, one more answer that Darshana gives, that in a dream we have experienced, normally most people would have experienced a dream inside a dream. We see one dream and we see a lot of things, let us say something bad or whatever it is. Followed by that, we see one more dream. In that second dream, the first dream, whatever happened, maybe opposite can happen, or first dream is a dream, that also we can get, whatever it is. So though there are a stream of dreams, one after the other, the second dream eliminates the first dream that we have seen. So though they are all Kalpita, there is a possibility of Purva Para, where the Purva is becoming Badhita from the Para. The later dream is removing the earlier dream. So these are all basically question of Tarka, that is arguments. For argument's sake, you can imagine so many possibilities and go on arguing. So they say that by the knowledge of the Guru itself, the prapancha does not get eliminated. So just like a person who is seeing a dream has the knowledge that the person is imagined. Let's say I am getting a dream. I am seeing something in the dream. So I know that this person is imagined. If I know that this person is imagined in the dream does not get eliminated because of that knowledge, is what they argue, the Advaita Darshana. In the same way, the knowledge of the Guru itself does not eliminate the prapancha which is not Satya. So in order to eliminate the prapancha, Upadesha is needed, is the argument of the Advaitin. For this we say that is just not possible, because Shishya and his Jnana also become imagined by the time in that case, and there is no need to eliminate, it will go by itself just like a dream. So these are all basically continued arguments. Everything, if you say imagine, there is only one entity which is true. The possibility of the person, either he should have jnana or not have jnana. If that person who is teaching has this kind of a jnana that there is only one entity which is true, as told in Advaita Darshana, he cannot be teaching a second entity, because second entity does not exist. And if he does not have the jnana, then also he cannot teach, because he does not have the jnana to teach. So all these things, they are all possibilities which are basically by argument. And if Krishna does not have the jnana, if Arjuna is the real Brahman, then if Krishna knows that he himself is going to be eliminated, or he himself is Kalpita, he will not go and teach Arjuna. So all these, basically these arguments are pure tarka. And one dream eliminating another dream, they say that there are possibilities that two dreams coming. So that is like a parihasa chaye, Deshika says. Even if it is imagined, let us say bad dream gets terminated, and by a good dream which happens later on, then we say that that has to be applied to Acharya Jnana first, and then that would be first eliminated. There is Acharya Jnana, there is a Shishya Jnana. If Shishya Jnana is eliminating his Ajnana, then Acharya Jnana should have eliminated his Ajnana also. So what you apply to Arjuna, the Upadesha that is being done to Arjuna, applies to Krishna's Jnana itself in the first place. So the Upadesha, doing the Upadesha is fruitless, it is unreasonable, and the moksha of the one Jiva who is seeing everything will never happen, because from Anadi Kala this has been continuing. and hence Shastra becomes futile. And so Shastra Rambha itself becomes Anupapanna. Means you cannot, there is no reason for starting the Shastra itself, because for Shastropadesha, the one who does Upadesha, the one who listens, and the Prayojana of such an Upadesha are all required to be true. If the person who does Upadesha, if the person who is listening to that Upadesha, if the Prayojana from such an Upadesha are all not reasonable, Shastra Rambha itself cannot happen. So this is the what is told in the Advaita Darshana, that all these things, there is only one Brahman who is the real entity, and that Brahman also does not have Jnatritva, Kartritva. He is Nitya, Buddha, Shuddha, Mukta, Chinmatra Brahma. So such a Brahman existing, all these things cannot happen. And what Krishna is teaching here, Natvevaham Jatuna Natvam Neme Janadipaha. There is not even an iota of doubt that these are all, Krishna does not teach that all these are imagined or kalpita or not true, mithya, etc. There is no word or anything which indicates any of this. On the contrary, he is teaching that everything is satya. All these Atma Satya, Atma Nityatva, Atma Bahutva, Atma Jivatma Paramatma Bheda, these are all the real things that are being taught by Krishna in this particular shloka. So by the Bhashyakara finally says that by doing all these arguments, he says that Kalpitatvepi Purva Virodhitvena Nivartakamiti Chete Tad Acharya Jnanepi Samanam. Even though it is imagined Purva Virodhitvena, the later one eliminates the earlier one. If you say the Acharya Jnana, before Acharya Jnana there will be something else, so Acharya Jnana itself will get eliminated. So that is also not to be. Tateva nivartakam bhavati iti upadesha anarthakyam eva iti kritam asamichina vadaihi. So these are all shushka tarka, and there is no end to this such arguments, and it does not yield any fruit. So Bhashyakara finally retires arguing this on these lines and says that these are all of no use, and such a darshana cannot be established in this upadesha. Kincha guroho. So by telling all these things, Bhashyakara is established in this shloka that also that by eliminating or by setting away all the arguments of the Advaita Darshana, the other matas such as the Veda Darshana of Bhaskaracharya and all those things also get refuted. And our Siddhanta, which propounds that Atma Bahutva, Atma Nityatva, Atma Paramatma Bheda are all true and they are all real, and that is what is being taught here, is that is the reality that stands in this particular shloka, that has been established beyond doubt by Bhagavad Ramanuja in this particular shloka. Going to the next shloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiraha tatra na muhyati. So when Krishna has taught Arjuna that Atmans are eternal, Atmans are Nitya, and he should not have grief with respect to them getting destroyed, etc. Now a doubt may arise that we see in this world that Devadatta, somebody is born, Yajnadatta dies, somebody dies, and all these Vyavaharas we see in this world. We see that somebody is born, somebody is dying, and all these things. And how is the Atma Nitya? The answer, such a doubt may come. So in order to answer that doubt, Krishna continues the Upadesha with this, in this shloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiraha tatra na muhyati. Dehinaha, for a Jivatman who is associated with a body. So Deham asya asti iti dehi. Dehi means one who has a deha. For a person who has a deha, dehinaha, a Jivatman who is associated with a body. Asmin dehe, in this body, yatha kaumaram yavvaram jara. Just as he goes through the various phases of his childhood, youth and old age, etc. Tatha, in the same way, dehantara praptihi. Getting another body also happens. So, dhiraha, one who is viveki, one who has the knowledge of that body and Atman are different, is a dhira here. Tatra na muhyati, does not get subjected to moha in that aspect. That means he does not get deluded, he does not get confused in that particular aspect. So, a person who is in the body is undergoing the various changes of various phases like childhood and youth and old age, etc. For that one does not grieve. In the same way, when we get another body also, one should not grieve. A dhira, a viveki who knows that Atman and Deha are different, does not get affected by this. That is the shloka. The bhashya for this, ekasmin dehe vartamanasya dehinah kaumaravastham vihaya yavanadyavastha praptau atmanah sthira buddhya yatha atma nashtaha iti na shochati dehat dehantara praptavapi tathaiva sthira atma iti buddhiman na shochati ataha atmanam nityatvat atmano na shokasthanam. Ekasmin dehe vartamanasya dehinah. One in the same body, an Atman is staying in the same body. In the same body, he goes through kaumaravastham vihaya, leaving the kaumaravastha, childhood. Yavanadi avastha prapto, he gets youth. So he leaves one state and goes into another state. And when he goes into such a state, atmanaha sthira buddhya, thinking that the same Atman is continuing from childhood to youth to old age, yatha atma nashtaha iti na shochati. Nobody will grieve thinking that when they go from childhood to youth, somebody will not grieve thinking that the earlier Atman has died and a new Atman has come. Everybody knows that the same Atman is continuing. In the same way, dehat dehantara praptau api. When one body leaves and goes takes another body also, tathaiva sthira atma iti. In the same way, the same Atman is continuing, leaving this body. In the another body, the same Atman is continuing with this knowledge. Buddhiman na shochati. One who knows that Atma and Deha are different and the same Atman is continuing, he does not grieve. Ataha atmanam nityatvat atmano na shokasthanam. So, the Jivatman is nitya, eternal, so they are not to be grieved. One does not think that the Atman who is residing inside the body has died. And when the body goes through childhood, youth, old age, etc. A person leaves childhood and enters youth, and leaving youth enters into old age. They are all causes for grief because the earlier phase is lost when going to the new phase. But during this change, one does not grieve, thinking that there is any loss to the Atman, or that Atman himself is lost, a new Atman has come, one Atman has died. Like this we don't think, because everybody knows the same Atman is continuing to exist. Hence we do not grieve. In the same way, when one leaves the earlier body and gets into another body also, the leaving of the earlier body is not cause for grief, because Atman is continuing to exist in the same way. So the meaning of the word dhira given by Bhashyakara is one who knows that Atma is thira, that is the firm, is unchanging, he is firm. Thiratva buddhi in Atma, that is, he is dhira, according to the context here. So because the Atmans are nitya, they are not shokasthana, they are not to be grieved. This is the explanation for the shloka ashocyan anvashocham stvam. So that is the explanation for that is being given here. Ashocyan anvashocham stvam. One which is not to be grieved, you are actually having grief towards them. What Krishna said, that is the explanation for Atman he has explained here. So what is to be done? Etavad atra kartavyam atmanam nityanam eva anadi karma vashyataya tattat karmochita deha samsprishtanam taireva dehaihi bandha nivrittaye shastriyam swavarnochitam yuddhadi karma anabhisamhita phalam yuddhadikam anabhisamhita phalam karma kurvatam avarjaniyataya indriyaihi indriyartha sparshaha shitoshnadi prayukta sukha dukkada bhavanti te tu yavachhastriya karma samapti kshantavya iti. So what is to be done now? Krishna is teaching him first that Atmas are Nitya, and he gave an example in the same body as one goes through the various states, various phases of childhood, youth, etc. One does not grieve. He has a clear mind that Atman, same Atman is continuing, and earlier Atman is lost or died, we don't grieve. The same way when we go leave one body and take another body, the Atman is continuing, is what a Dhira should know. And that he should not be grieving, thinking that Atman is lost. So Atman is eternal and continuing. So what should we do now? Is next Krishna has told, with Bhashyakara tells very clearly that Yetavad atra kartavyam. So what is to be done is this: Atmanam Nityanam eva. The eternal Atmas, their anadi karma vashyataya tattat karmochita deha samsprishtanam. So there are two shlokas here, which are the two shlokas, the prapya and nivartya are indicated. Prapya is the idea that Atmans are Nitya, several, there is difference between Jiva and Ishvara. And nivartya is Shloka, with respect to the Atmans, the grief, because Atmans are eternal, which is shown by the example of Kaumara, Yauvana, etc. So Krishna taught him that what is to be known, what is to be attained is that the knowledge that Atmas are Nitya, Bahu, several, and Veda is Satya. And what is to be eliminated, Nivartya, is Shoka, grief. Now the Sangati is being told here as Etavadatra Kartavyam. The next two shlokas, that is the matras Parshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukadukkadaha, Agamapaino Anityaha Tan Stitikshasva Bharata is the next shloka. And the shloka after that is Yam Hinavyathayantyete Purusham Purusharshabha Samadukka Sukam Dhiram Somrtatvaya Kalpate. The next two shlokas, the Sangati for the next two shlokas is told in this part of the Bhashya, Etavadatra Kartavyam. So they are the prapaka, the means, and the meaning of these shlokas is combined here as the Sangati, Etavadatra Kartavyam. So first Krishna told Prapya, Nivartya. Now he is giving the Prapaka. That is, first he told what is to be attained, the knowledge of Nityatva, Bahutva, and Veda, and all this, or Satya, and all that. What is Nivartya, to be eliminated, is Shoka. And what will lead us to this knowledge? The Prapaka is what is being told here as Kartavya. What should we do to get that knowledge, to get that Prapya, to eliminate the Shoka, to attain the Nityatva, the knowledge of Nityatva? What is that we are supposed to do? The Prapaka, the means, is told in this part of the Bhashya as a Sangati. The details of the Prapaka is coming in the next two shlokas. This is like a bridge, this is like a preface to that, what is to be attained, what is to be done. Atra etavadatra kartavyam atmanam nityanam eva anadi karma vashyataya. Atma nityas are established in natvevaham. So nityanam eva, the eternal atmas, what they should do is anadi karma vashyataya. Here Bhashyakara is establishing the various subtle points of our Siddhanta. The anadi shows that karma exists from beginningless time, and anadi, that is when did karma start, if somebody says. So the Sutrakara, the Brahma Sutrakara, Krishna Dvaipayana, he establishes in the Brahma Sutra, na karma vibhagaditi chenna anaditvat upapadhyate cha upalabhyate cha. There is a Brahma Sutra in the second chapter, in the first pada of the second chapter, which says na karma vibhagaditi chet na anaditvat. So there is an objection put there and says, when Srishti, karma itself was not there, how did all these Vishama Srishti happen and all that? So the answer given by Brahma Sutra is karma is anadi. We cannot say when the karma started. So if a jiva who is, what Bhashyakara is teaching is here, is jiva is, Krishna has taught Arjuna, with Bhashyakara makes it very clear, jiva is nitya, he is jnanasvarupa, he is shuddha by nature, and he has come into contact with sharira due to his karma. So if he is such a pure entity, Shuddha Swabhava, when did he get this karma? How did he get this karma bandha? If somebody gets a doubt, Bhashyakara makes it very clear. It is anadi. We do not know. It is beginningless time. It has happened. So nobody can say when it started, because it does not have a beginning. That is established in Shruti, Smriti, Pramanas and Sutra Pramana and all these things, that karma is anadi. That we have to accept. That is one of the siddhantas, and that every darshana accepts. So, and the important thing here is, it is due to the bondage of the karma that samsara has come, and not due to anirvachaniya ajnana. The Advaita Darshana, they say that there is an ajnana called avidya, which is anirvachaniya. We cannot say whether it exists or does not exist. It is sadasad vilakshana, is what the Advaita Darshana says. Avidya is sadasad vilakshana according to Advaita Siddhanta. That is an ajnana, of course. And if you say that avidya, because what the Advaita Darshana propounds is, if avidya is sat, let's say it exists, it does not exist forever, because it gets eliminated by the knowledge of that Brahman is only one is true. So avidya gets eliminated. If you say avidya does not exist, asat, you cannot say because it is there. Till it gets eliminated, it still remains. So it remains also, it gets eliminated also. That is why it is sadasad vilakshana. You cannot say it is sat, you cannot say it is asat. This is the argument of Advaita Darshana for avidya, sarasad vilakshana. Bhashyakara makes it very clear that it is not that which is the cause of samsara, but is anadi karma vashyataya. The karma which the Jivatman has done from beginningless time, we don't know when it started. That is the cause for the bondage, not some ajnana called avidya, which does not exist, which exists but does not exist, which gets eliminated. So such a thing cannot be established at all. So in Bhashya and Vedartha Sangraha, Bhashyakara has in detail refuted this anirvachaniyatva anupapatti. Anirvachaniya means it cannot be told in words. It cannot be told as sat or asat. That anirvachaniyatva anupapatti. For avidya itself, Bhashyakara has raised saptavida anupapatti, 7 types of unreasonableness or incompatibilities, and he has established that such a thing called avidya, as propounded in a Advaita Darshana, cannot be established. So there is no pramana for such a thing which is anirvachaniya, and the statement that is anirvachaniya itself cannot be told, because that itself becomes anirvachaniya, is what Deshika says here. So every object is according to the act of knowing, and everything can be known as either sadakara or asadakara. If an object is sadasad vilakshana, it would mean everything should become object of every knowledge. So these kind of arguments are put through to say, we say that you cannot establish something which is sadasad vilakshana, as the Advaita Darshana says, avidya. So Bhashyakara is very clearly making in very few words here, though Bhashyakara says anadi karma vashyataya, means the bondage, the cause of the bondage is anadi karma and not anything else called avidya or anything like that. Avidya itself, we call avidya itself as karma here. So if there is a term used avidya in any pramana, it has to be taken as anadi karma. The bondage, the cause of the bondage is anadi karma, is our siddhanta. So because of that karma, when it starts, it's anadi. We don't know when it has started. And because we are caught into this samsara due to this anadi karma, what are we supposed to do? Tattat karmochita deha samsprishtanam. Though by nature all atmans are atyanta samanas, that is, all the atmans are, these are all going to be explained in detail in later chapters. All atmas are jnana swarupas. So they are all samana in that aspect that they are all jnana swarupas. Similar, very samana with respect to their swarupa, their essential nature of knowledge, pure knowledge. The various differences in the body are due to their karmas. So one person becomes a deva, one person becomes a yaksha, one person rakshasa, one person manushya, one krimi, one kita, one pashu, one sarisrupa. So why does this difference exist when the Atmans inside all these bodies are very similar with respect to the essential nature of jnana? If you ask, the difference is coming because of the karma. Their own karmas, the fruits of the karmas, are causing them to have different bodies. They get associated with a body in accordance to one's own karma. So that is what is Bhashyakara telling here. Tat tat karma uchita deha samsprishtanam. They come into association with the body which is in accordance to one's own karma. Taireva dehaihi bandha nivruttaye. This is a very beautiful thing that Bhashyakara says. The body serves two purposes. Though we have got this body due to our anadi karma, it has got two purposes. One is, one person can use the body to get into deeper samsara by not doing proper things. And one can also get rid of this samsara by the same body. So it serves two purposes. The bondage due to the body, one can get into more bondage by doing all the wrong things, or by not doing the upayanushtana, by not doing anything, putting any effort to get rid of it. Or by putting effort, one can get rid of this body with the same body. Taireva dehaihi. Using the same body as instrument, you can get rid of this bandha nivruttaye. So the anadi karma, the same body which has got due to anadi karma, is to be used to get rid of the bondage also. So doing karma in the same bodies, one can get rid of it also. That time, the body causes the body which causes the bondage will become the means for liberation itself. And this is indicated by the avadharana, eva taireva dehai. The same body, one can get rid of the bondage. Shastriya swavarnochitam yuddhadi karma. So how is to be yuddhadikam? Shastriyam savarnochitam yuddhadikam. If one does not do karmas which are shastriya, that is according to the shastra. Shastra is Veda. That is Veda gives us what is to be done, what is not to be done, and according to one's varna and ashrama and all those things. So that is, the varna is brahmana, kshatriya and all those things, and ashrama is grihastha, sannyasi. So according to the varna and ashrama, one has to choose what is ordained for one's varna and ashrama. That is the shasana of Paramatma. Vedas are shastras, and that gives us the shasana, Paramatma's ajna, what is to be done, what is not to be done. And we have to follow the shastra and do. If you don't follow the shastra, then it will lead only to bondage and more grief. So ashastram, asuram, kritsnam, all these things will come later. So shastriyam savarnochitam yuddhadikam. What is uchita for one's varna and ashrama, and what is shastriya, which is in this case with respect to Arjuna, yuddha and other things, because Arjuna is a kshatriya and yuddha is shastriya karma for his varna, which is vihita. So which are according to that, and he should not do bhaiksha. He says bhaiksham api haloke. Arjuna says, I don't mind even doing vikshacharya, he says, which is meant for brahmanas. Doing that will be ashastriya for him. It will not get him any shreyas. So he has to do what is vihita for his varna, which is yuddha and other things. And how should one do such a karma? Anabhisamhita phalam karma kurvatam. When there for fruits therein, it will lead one to amritatva. That is what is being told here. Anabhisamhita phalam karma. One is, in the same body we have to do the karmas. Second point is, we have to do shastriya karma. Third is, we have to do swavarnochita karma. And we have to do anabhisamhita phalam karma. So these are all the 4 points that we have to. The anadi karma is what is responsible for us to get this body. And we have to use the same body as means. And we have to do shastriya karma in the same body. We have to do the swavarnochita karma in the same body. And we have to do it without any desire for fruits. Anabhisamhita phalam. So if we do like this, then we can get liberated from this bondage. So that is the meaning of one will lead to amritatva. And the next part of the bhashya is avarjaniyataya anabhisammita palam karma kurvatam avarjaniyataya indriyaihi indriyartha sparshaha shitoshnadi prayukta sukha dukkhada bhavanti te tu yavachhastriya karma samapti kshantavya iti. So here avarjaniyataya indriyaihi indriyartha sparshaha. The person, for a person who is doing such a karma without any desire for fruit, which is savarnochita karma, and in the same body, what happens is there are those which are not favoring us, which should be done. What is not favoring us, and what should be told, what should be done with respect to that. Whatever is avarjaniya, when we are doing such a karma in this body, which is swavarnochita, there are many pratibandhakas, many pratikula things which are happening. What are we supposed to do with respect to that is what Krishna is telling here. So Bhashyakara says the word tu removes the doubt. Bhashyakara says that those which cannot be avoided have to be tolerated. So that is what is to be done as one's duty. When we are doing such a duty in our body, swavarnochita karma, anabhisammita phalam karma, and we are doing such a body, many obstructions come, many sukha, dukkha, shita, ushna, all those things come. There are two aspects which Krishna explains in detail. That is, one is due to things which are outside us. That is sun, the heat, rain, and floods, and all these things, natural calamities. They are all happening, which may create a lot of grief to us. And there are also manasika. So there is bahya, there is manasika. The bahya things which are not under our control. What is to be done with respect to that? With respect to the mind, whatever happens, what is that we are supposed to do? These are all being told further here. So in this first, Bhashyakara is telling avarjaniyataya, that means which cannot avoid, which cannot be controlled. Whatever cannot be avoided or controlled has to be tolerated. Kshantavyaha is what? Yavachhastriya karma samapti. So indriyartha sparshaha. That means the indriyas, the sense organs, the objects of the sense organs which come into contact with us, and from outside they naturally come, like there is a lot of heat, there is a rain, they come into contact with our indriyas and they cause shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, etc. And these things have to be tolerated till we complete the shastriya karma. That is what is Bhashyakara is telling here, which is the meaning of that shloka as an explanation of that shloka. So that is the objects of the senses come into contact with the sense organs, and due to heat, cold, etc. cause happiness, grief, and all that, and we have to tolerate it. That is what is, because we don't have control on that. Whether it is going to be raining or heavy cold is there, heat is there, is not under our control. So when things which are not under our control, we have to tolerate it. That is the first thing. Shita, they cause shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, and all those things. And yavachhastriya karma samapti kshantavyaha. They have to be tolerated till the shastriya karma is completed by us, is what is told in that shloka. So in the next shloka, matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino anityaha tan stitikshasva bharata. So here the Bhashya, there is a sangati for this. Imam artham anantarameva aha. So Bhashyakara is telling that when he is telling Atmanityatva, the nature of the senses, etc., are to be told at the end. But because the subject matter is of utmost importance, it is being told here. So there is an objection that when Krishna is telling Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara and all natvevaham jatnasam, how come suddenly there is a matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha? Such a shloka, how can such a thing come here in between? When he is telling Atmanityatva, suddenly the subject has changed to the what is happening to the sense organs, or the bhautika things which are outside, and all those things, agamapayis, anityas, and all these things. How can such a thing suddenly come in between? Is it not out of context? So Bhashyakara is giving an explanation. Imam artham anantarameva aha. Because the subject matter is of utmost importance, it is being told immediately. though it is the Atma Nityatva Prakarana, the nature of the senses and how it has to be handled and all those things, it's very important. So it is being told immediately in this shloka, Matras Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukhadukkadaha, Agamapainaha Anityaha, Tan Stitikshasva Bharata. So here, Kaunteya, a son of Kunti, Bharata, one who is born in the Bharatakula, Matras Sparshastu, the contact of the Shabda and other Vishayas, the objects of the senses, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha, they give rise to cold, heat, happiness and grief. And they are Agama Apaina. They come and go. Agama Apainaha. They come and they go. They are, so because of that they are Anityaha. They are not eternal. Tan Stitikshasva. You have to tolerate them. So it's made it very, very clear here that the Matra Sparsha or Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, they give all these things, but they are Agama and Apainaha. They come and go, and they are Anityas. They are not eternal. So we have to tolerate them, is the teaching here. The Bhashya for that is Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandhaha Sashrayaha Tanmatra Karyatvat Matra iti Uchyante. Shrotradibihi Tesham Sparshaha Shitoshna Mrudu Parushadi Rupa Sukha Dukkada Bhavanti. Shitoshna Shabdaha Pradarsanartaha Tan Dhairyena Yavad Yuddhadi Shastriya Karma Samapti Titikshasva Techa Agamapaitvat Dhairyavatam Kshantum Yogyaha Anityascha Ete Bandhahetu Bhuta Karmanashe Sati Agamapaitvenapi Nivartante Ityartaha. A very beautifully summarized Siddhanta by Bhashyakar. He gives a very unique meaning for all the words here. The Matra Sparshastu is given uniquely by Bhashyakar here, and it is interpreted differently by different Bhashyas. So Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandaha Sashrayaha Tanmatra Karyatvat Matra iti Uchyante. The meaning of the word Matraha is very special here, as given by Bhashyakar as Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha along with the Ashrayas is the meaning of Matraha. So Matra is actually connected with Tanmatra. In the Srishti Prakarana, what happens is when the things are all getting created, there is a phase where first the Mula Prakriti, that is primordial matter, is the Nitya Padartha, primordial matter, that is also called Avyakta. That changes into Mahat, and that Mahat Tattva changes into Ahankara. That Ahankara is a Tattva, it is matter, material. It is Avyakta, it is very Sukshma. That Ahankara Tattva has got three, Satvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Satvika Ahankara, Rajasa Ahankara, Tamasa Ahankara. These are all matter I am talking about. It is not the feeling of I. Ahankara is not feeling of I or selfish feeling like that. It is a Tattva, it is matter, material, which is a creation from Mahat Tattva. And it is very Sukshma. So here Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, from Tamas, Tamasa Ahankara, the Rajas Ahankara and Tamasa Ahankara, the Tamasa Ahankara creates Tanmatras. So the Tanmatra, out of that, Shabda Tanmatra is created. Tanmatra is a state, in between state. Like when the milk turns into curd, the state in between is called Tanmatra. Dadhi Kalalavate, they say. That is when the milk is just turning into curd, it is in a state where it is not milk and it is not curd also. It is in between state is called Tanmatra. Similarly, during creation also, the Tamasa Ahankara turns into Shabda Tanmatra. Shabda Tanmatra, from Shabda Tanmatra, Akasha is created. From Akasha, the Sparsha Tanmatra is created. From Sparsha Tanmatra, Vayu is created, which is told in the Shruti, Akashat, Vayuhu, Vayor, Agni, Agnerapaha, Adhya Prathivi, Prithivya, Oshadaya. So this is how in Taittiriya Upanishad it is told. In between states are called Tanmatras. And so Shabda Tanmatra to Akasha, Akasha becomes Sparsha Tanmatra. Sparsha Tanmatra, the Vayu is created. From Vayu, it is Rupa Tanmatra. Rupa Tanmatra to Tejas. From Tejas Tattva, from there it becomes Agni, Agner Apaha, Rasa Tanmatra. Rasa Tanmatra to Up, that is water, Jala. And from water it becomes Gandha Tanmatra. From Gandha Tanmatra it becomes Prithvi. So this is the order in which creation happens. So these Tanmatras here, here is a Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha along with the Ashrayas. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha are all qualities, gunas, which are residing in an object. So Shabda Tanmatra is matter, Tattva. That gives rise to Akasha, which has the guna of Shabda. That is, Shabda is a quality. So there are three things here we have to understand very clearly. Shabda Tanmatra, Shabda Guna, Akasha. Shabda Tanmatra and Akasha are Tattvas, they are Dravyas. Shabda is the Guna of Akasha, the quality which resides in Akasha. That is a Dharma of Akasha. So that Ashrayas, Sashrayas means with the Ashraya. Guna is always Ashrita in Guni. So a Dharma or a Guna, a quality cannot exist by itself. So Shabda is a quality which cannot, like the redness of a rose. The redness cannot exist by itself. The redness resides in the rose. Similarly, Shabda is a quality residing in Akasha. So the Matra, the meaning of Matra is very uniquely given by Bhashyakara here as Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandhaha Sashrayaha, along with their Ashrayas, which is Akasha, Prithvi, Tejas and all these things. So this is told in different from other bhashyas, where other bhashyas, these are matra is told as Indriya itself. And when Bhashyakara says that is not the right meaning here. Matraha does not mean senses, but it means Shabda and other gunas along with those where these qualities of Shabda are residing. So Shabda is the guna of Akasha, Sparsha is the guna of Vayu, etc. And it is said that Shabda Tanmatra Akasha is from Shabda Tanmatra Akasha is created, and from Sparsha Tanmatra Vayu is created, etc. The effect of Shabda Tanmatra is Akasha. Shabda Tanmatra is the Karana, Akasha is the Karya. So having the guna of Shabda, Akasha has the guna of Shabda. So Guna Vishishta Dravya is the effect of Tanmatra. That is the summary. Tanmatra is in between state. That Dravya gives effect to Akasha, which is a Guna Vishishta Dravya, Shabda Vishishta Dravya. The state when it is so this the Shabda Tanmatra Dravya becomes Akasha. From Akasha, Sparsha Tanmatra is created, and that is how everything goes. So their Ashraya, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, the qualities, and their Ashrayas are all here called by the name Matra. That is what we have to understand. The Karya Dravya is also having the Karana Dravya. In our Siddhanta, the Karya Dravya has the Karana Dravya also. That is from the mud when we make Ghata is created, the pot. The pot is also Mridatmaka. It has the object. It is Avasthantara Patti is a Karya. So that is briefly told here. The Matras Sparshastu, where Matras is a unique interpretation given by Bhashyakara. So Shrotradibihi Tesham Sparshaha Shitoshna Mrudu Parushadi Rupa Sukha Dukkada Bhavanti. When these Matras, that is the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, etc., come into contact with Shrotra and other organs, our ears, our eyes, etc., we see an object, a Tejas which has a Rupa, we come into contact Vayu which has a Sparsha, and things like that. We hear sound, that is from the Akasha. So all these are coming into contact with our sense organs, and they cause Shita, Ushna, Mrudu, Parusha, etc., which give rise to Sukha and Dukkha to a person. So softness or Parusha is hard, Kathina, and Shita, Ushna, and they give either Sukha or Dukkha to a person. So Shitoshna Shabdaha Pradarshanaarthaha Tan Dhairyena Yavad Yuddhadi Shastriya Karma Samapti Titikshasva. The word Shita and Ushna are here just indicative. So it is not, which may, this Shita and Ushna may not be relevant in a war told here. So the answer is that they are just indicative. So you cannot say that how in a war Shita happens or Ushna happens like that. It is indicative. So like Shita, Ushna, anything else can, all the effects of these matras. So the Sukha, Dukkha happen, and in a war what happens is Shastrapata and things like that, which cause Sukha and Dukkha. And it has to be understood with respect to the Varna and Ashrama Dharma. The Shita and Ushna are Pradarshanaartha, indicative, and what these cause, the effects, that is to be understood according to the karmas which are done in each Varna and Ashrama Dharma. So in a Kshatriya, for a Kshatriya Yuddha is doing, there is, killing a enemy or Shastrapata, getting injuries and things like that. So these are all the things that are happening there. A lot of pain may happen, grief may happen. Ultimately, they all lead to Sukha or Dukkha. That is what is told. So these Sukha and Dukkha have to be tolerated dhairyena. In the previous shloka, it was told that dhiraha tatrana mukhyati, and in the context, samadukka sukham dhiram. Accordingly, it means dhairyena means with courage. Or it could be as indicated by Kaunteya, Bharata, etc. Tan sitikshasva Bharata, one who is born to a Kshatriya mother, or one who is born in a Kshatriya clan, Bharata clan, and for such a person, courage is proper. So dhairyena titikshasva, you have to, with lot of courage, till you finish this yuddha and other karmas which are prescribed for your varna and ashrama. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have to tolerate the sukha and dukkhas which are coming because of lot of things happening outside, and they all cause shabda sparsha rupa rasagandha. They all come into contact with our senses, and they cause sukha and dukkha. They have to be tolerated. That is the message here. Just as in a tapas or in a yaga, let us say, when somebody is doing a tapas, or somebody you're doing a sacrifice, a yaga, the effects of the winds or effect of heat, hunger, thirst, sacrifice of animals, etc., they all have to be tolerated. When somebody is doing tapas, there will be a lot of heat and winds and hunger, thirst, all this may happen. Even in a yaga, somebody has to do upvasa and they should not drink anything, so hunger and thirst may happen, animal sacrifice may happen. So these are all causing a lot of effects on the indriyas. They may cause sukha, dukkha, etc. But till that karma samapti, they have to be tolerated by one, whoever is doing that shastriya karma. In the same way, the shastrapata, shatruvadha, etc., which are happening in the yuddha, which is the prescribed dharma for your varnashrama, you have to tolerate, is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So from this, the dukkha which comes due to the object coming in contact with the senses cannot be avoided because they are coming from outside, and they cannot be removed by shoka. So even if you just grieve for them that I am having a lot of dukkha, if you just grieve for that, if you get shoka, that dukkha will not go. So you have to tolerate it. That is what is proper. So titiksha is the tolerance. That is the only way to counter that. So techa agamapayitvat dhairyavatam kshantum yogya. So why should you tolerate that? Because they are not permanent. They come and go. Agama apayitvat. They have to be dhairyavatam kshantum yogyaha. So the courageous ones have to tolerate them, thinking that they are just coming and going. Tolerating the sukhamsha means neglecting it without being interested or involved in it. So that is also because they also come and go. So we may get a lot of sukha. What does it mean you have to tolerate the sukha? Tolerate the sukha means you should not be too much interested or you get involved in it. That is the tolerance for sukha. For dukkha, you should not get affected by it. So this is the tolerance, dhairyavatam kshantum. Because they come and go, they are not permanent. And we have to tolerate it. If they had been permanent, maybe it could have caused grief or whatever. But all these things which are happening due to the things happening outside and which are coming in contact with our senses, they are all not permanent. They are temporary. They come and they go. So they have to be tolerated. Anityashchate bandhahetu bhuta karmanashe sati agamapayitvenapi nivartante ityartah. Anityaha, Bhashyakara says agamapayanah anityaha, two words. Agamapaya means come and go. That itself gives the meaning of not eternal. Why should he use another word anitya? Deshka explains that there is no punarukti in this. The anitya gives a different meaning. It gives an extended meaning to this these things happening. If somebody gets a doubt that they are agamapayi, come and go, after our entire karma bandha goes, what happens? Do they still remain as agamapayi? When we get rid of this karma bandha, samsara, after that also will they come and go, such things? If one gets a doubt, for that Bhashyakara makes it very clear, anityaha, agamapayanaha, anityaha, tamstitikshasva, which is told in the shloka itself. So anityaha is not a punarukti here, and Bhashyakara gives the special meaning for that anityaha, that bandha hetu bhuta karma nashe sati, the karma which is the cause of this bondage, the samsara, when that gets destroyed, even though these things are agamapayis, they will not come again. They will be completely removed, eliminated. Nivartante. Agamapayitvenapi nivartante ityarthaha. So though they are coming and going, they come and go only as long as the karma bandha exists. Once the karma bandha goes, they also get completely eliminated. So the karma nasha eliminates them completely. So they are anityas. That is what is the meaning of that. And anitya also does not mean here pravaha nitya. That means it is nitya. One after that, it is what is known as a pravaha nitya. That is also not true. Once the karma nasha happens, they get eliminated also. So they are agamapayi as long as the karma bandha exists. Once the karma bandha gets destroyed, they also get eliminated. That is the word. The breakup, there are some other bhashyas where the breakup for this shloka is done as agamapayino nityaha. That is not the right meaning, and they become nitya, and would not be proper to say that they have to be tolerated. If you make the breakup of the words agamapayino nityaha instead of anityaha, then it will not, you cannot explain, justify why it should be tolerated. When somebody is nitya, how can you say, justify that it has to be tolerated? So it is not a proper interpretation of the shloka. The meaning, it has to be, the breakup of words has to be agamapayinaha anityaha, and means that agamapayitvat muktau tadabhavacha. Anityaha means muktau tadabhavat. When somebody becomes a mukta, this gets completely eliminated, tadabhavat. It is not agamapayi anymore, it gets eliminated. So that is the meaning of the agamapayino anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. Anityāścate bandha hetu bhuta karmana shesati agamapayitvenapi nivartante ityarthaha. So that is the meaning of this matras parshyasta kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. With that, we have come to the end of this session, and the shloka 15, yamhino vyathayantyete purusham purusha rishabha amadukka sukham dhiram somrtatvaya kalpate. We shall take in the next class. With that, I shall end the class and leave the class for question answer, anything, if any questions are there. Thank you very much.
I have a question. Yeah, this is regarding the 12th shloka, Natvevaham. In this one, the Bhashya here refutes the Bheda and the Advaita Siddhantas. But does that also, is it the Sharira Shariri Bhava of rAmAnuja Siddhanta, is that established somewhere else? Or is it does it not come in the Gita Bhashya at all? Because no, this one
it comes in, it comes in all this later on. It comes Kshetrajnam Jabhimam Vidhi and all those shlokas. But here it is basically Atma Nityatva and Atma Bhutva, Atma Paramatma Bheda is what is the the focus here. The sambandha between the Paramatma and Jivatma, that is the Sharira Shariri Bhava, is not being touched upon here right now at this point.
Okay, thank you.
It will come later. It will come in detail later. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if there are no more questions, I shall conclude today's class. Thank you very much.